Most podcasts happen in studios. This one happens on the job. I'm Cole Trachis. This is Through the Bass, where we sit down with people, not just talk about what they do, but who they are. Today, I'm sitting down with Matt Kuiper with Desert Plunge. Dude, how are you today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for letting us come out here and hang with you and the animals.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so if you see a couple chickens or dogs or cats running around, that's just all part of Matt and who he is.
Yeah, welcome to the farm.
Yeah, the farm. Well, Matt, let's jump into it. I want to know what life was like growing up. Who were you as a kid? Were you calm? Were you crazy? I was a crazy kid. So.
Oh man, growing up, I was extremely shy, quiet, really sensitive. I would say I was like that. I really didn't have a lot of friends. I did go to a small school, so I did have like a few core friends. One of them still one of my friends today. We're still close, but yeah, I wouldn't say I really started kind of breaking out of my shell until sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
From Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, born and raised here in Arizona. Grew up in Tempe.
Okay.
I grew up Christian. Went to a Christian Reformed church until I was about 18 years old. I had two younger brothers. They're both still here in Arizona. Yeah.
So, from Tempe, and now what area is this? This is Chandler.
This is technically Chandler, yeah. Yep, right on the border of Tempe.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. And did you have siblings growing up?
Yeah, two brothers. I've got a brother that's 18 months younger than me. He actually lives 2 streets over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my younger brother, Scott, he's in Chandler, but I think everyone's good.
Now that you're closer to your brother, is he over here all the time working out with you, or?
You know what? He should be.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Okay.
I need to get him out here more. He joined Dad Unit, which is a program I've been part of.
Okay.
A fitness program for like the last year, and he joined for a bit, so he was coming out here a bit more, but yeah, he's got no excuses. He should be.
Yeah, you got a full gym back there. Things perfect. It's like the dream gym.
Yeah.
Back there. So before we get into work, I kind of want to know a little more about, well, did you go to college? What was school like? And then how did you jump into, I guess, adult life? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah. College, I tried it. I tried community college. I think I went to Scottsdale Community College for a semester. Then I quickly realized, like, it wasn't for me. I was wasting my money. But right out of high school, I started working for a friend of mine's dad. He owned an electrical company called K2 Electric. So right out of high school, 18 years old, I started doing that. I didn't really know at the time that was my plan. But he just said, hey, if you need some work for the summer, come work for me. So that's what I did. And then I ended up going to trade school. Electrical trade school, yeah, for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So
right after high school.
Yeah, right. Well, probably about 2 years. I've been working as an electrician for 2 years. And then after that, I went to trade school. I would go, it was 2 nights a week, so I'd work all day. Then in the evening, I'd go to school. Okay. And I did that for 4 years and graduated and became a journeyman.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
So in that field, you have to go to a certain schooling to level up or become a journeyman? What is a journeyman?
Yeah. So really, in every state besides Arizona, yes, you do. To get your master's electrical license, you need to go through an apprenticeship program and get your journeyman card. In Arizona, you technically don't need that, which kind of, I think, actually hurts the electrical trade. But you still get a journeyman card, but it really doesn't mean anything. Okay. It helps when applying for jobs and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was really just educational. I learned a lot going through school. And I think it's great because it's a lot of companies too. They'll pay for your schooling as long as you're getting A's and B's. So at that time, I kept good grades. The company paid for the schooling.
That's good.
So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's a good opportunity.
So right out of high school, you started working as an electrician with K2 Electric.
Yeah, right out of high school.
And you said this was a friend of yours?
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Jared Credit. He's the president of the company today.
Okay.
But at that time, his dad had just started the company.
Oh, wow.
So it's brand new. I think it was the second employee
Oh, wow.
he had.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did you work there for?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, I stayed there
That's
for 20
so
years.
cool.
I remember I started in the summer and we were doing demo work. I was like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I am not doing
In Arizona.
Yeah, in Arizona.
Where it's 100 degrees.
Yeah, in this building, no air conditioning in the middle of summer. And like, this is absolutely miserable. And then 20 years later, I was still there.
Dude, that's really cool to hear because I know K2 Electric nowadays is a pretty big company, right?
Yeah. They're a good size company here in the Valley. It's been cool to see the growth. You know, we started from when I went there, 2 employees. Gosh, I don't know where they're at today. I could be wrong, but maybe they have 300 employees. So,
dang, how did you? What was like the biggest change I guess you saw working there for 20 years, being employee number 2 to 300 employees now?
yeah, there, some good and bad changes.
Yeah.
As you grow, it's hard to keep that family
Sure.
culture vibe, which I think a lot of people really appreciated about K2. In the early days, I'd say the first 10 years, even 15 years, probably. But, so there's good and bad that comes with that. I think, Dean, the founder, had done a really good job with that. And then Jared, when he took over, he did a really good job with that. Trying chill, still growing, but keeping that family culture. It was a great place to work. It gave me so many opportunities. And when it's ran by good people, it's
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
So K2, and then where was the transition into what you're doing now, Desert Plunge?
Yeah. Well,
What made that switch?
yeah. So at a certain point with K2, I actually became a partner in the company in 2019. We actually, Dean, the founder, we bought him out and basically formed a new LLC. So Jared, myself, and his brother. So then I transitioned into becoming a partner there for a while. But even at that time, I still was kind of unsettled. I didn't feel fulfilled. I know that's I don't know if that's the word, but I know there's no job that's going to check all the boxes and make you feel warm and fuzzy every day, but I just wasn't feeling that with K2, and I was looking for something else. And then around that same time, I had this crazy mental health crisis where 2019, we were out of the country, and I had a panic attack on the plane going from basically Phoenix to Miami. And it just kind of set things off into this crazy spiral of 7 months of just debilitating depression, anxiety, insomnia. So during that time, I found cold exposure. And
How do you find cold exposure?
Well, I've been trying everything to kind of get me out of this funk that I was in.
Yeah.
I mean, there were days that were pretty debilitating where I didn't even feel like I could do anything. So I was researching everything, trying to figure out how to get, start sleeping better, get rid of this anxiety, this depression that I had. And then my brother was like, hey, have you ever heard of this guy called Wim Hof?
Mm-hmm.
And he's the guy that kind of brought back the whole cold plunge movement. If anybody's ever heard of him, he does breath work and cold exposure. So my brother's like, hey, go check this guy out. So I went and checked him out, and his wife, I think, had committed suicide. And he cold exposure kind of brought him out of that. So I started looking into that. I went to a place in Arcadia called Optimize.
Okay.
And decided to try cold plunge, and I jumped in the water and just reset my brain.
What was it like the rest of that day?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it for me, it lasted a while.
Did it?
Yeah, I was able to just that negative thought loop that I continued, that would just continue over and over again. I was able to break that, and I was able to just restructure my thinking, see the light at the end of the tunnel. That fog, that darkness, kind of lifted. So I was able to reset, and I was a firm believer in cold exposure. I started going back every single morning. I would cold plunge every morning and every night for a year. I never missed.
At this optimized place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what leads into Desert Plunge.
Yeah.
So that started in October of, October of 2019.
Okay.
And then that led into 20.
Right before COVID.
Yeah, it was right before COVID. Yep. So that's what led to Desert Plunge is I saw the writing on the wall. I knew this center was going to get shut down. So I'm like, how do I get a cold plunge at home? And so then I started searching on Facebook, found this Facebook forum group called Chest Freezer Cold Plunge. They're still around today, but I built my first chest freezer, and I literally got it done the day the wellness center shut down.
Oh, wow.
So I had a cold plunge, and I just I converted a chest freezer to a cold plunge, and I was able to continue doing that. And like, man, everybody needs a cold plunge. So I was like, how can I make something a bit more affordable that, looks a bit better than a chest freezer, more practical, you can keep it clean easier. So then I went from chest freezers to stock tanks. Like, this is cool, but they don't do well in the heat. And, it's not scalable. It takes way too long to make these. And then I had a buddy that had a Grizzly cooler, which was originally designed for like big game.
Okay, yeah.
You'd go hunting, shoot an elk, and chop it up, throw it in the back of the cooler. But he's like, hey, could you put a chiller on this for me?
That's good. Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And that's when I did it. I'm like, man, this is scalable, it's practical, it's energy efficient.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. So that's how Desert Plunge was born. I was out of town, and my wife posted on Facebook Marketplace, and I think we sold 12 of them. And then we're like, okay, there's something to this, and built a website. I started doing it in my garage, and then we slowly built up to where we're at today.
So you were working at K2 at this time, and then the evenings or mornings or free time, you were building cold plunges.
Yeah. I kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but I think it was I was doing it as a hobby, and then I think in 2022, near the end of 2022, I just went in and like, hey, I was, like I was telling you, I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was stressed all the time at K2. Just health-wise, I wasn't doing great. And I went into my buddy and was like, hey man, I can't do anything. I was still down. Which we'd been having conversations for a long time, so I don't think that's surprising.
True.
But at that time, I wasn't like all in on Desert Plunge either. Like, I didn't know where it was going to lead. So my plan was just to step down, sold my equity back to him, and I was just gonna kind of figure it out for the next 2 years. And then Desert Plunge just kind of started taking off. It's like I had to make a choice whether, figure out what I want to do and stay at K2. And I had a pretty good deal still there for the next 2 years where I could have been comfortable and not stressed out and not have to worry about things. But I think, God just had another plan for me. We really felt called to, it's time to, step away from K2 and really go all in with Desert Plunge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's around the time that I met you as well.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, very early on.
Yeah. I remember one of your first shops and you were grinding and.
Yeah.
So when do you think it really started to begin to take off? Was it the epidemic of the COVID, or was it post that, or?
No, it was post. Well, Cold Plunge, I think really hit its peak in 2023.
Okay.
And I think we just got in at the right time. We really started taking off when we got strategic about our marketing. We partnered with an influencer in the health wellness space, David Moss, and he really helped bring awareness to our plunge. We started running Google and Meta ads, which I think was really helpful. We really focused on SEO. So we did all of that at the same time, and basically almost overnight, we went from, I mean, decent, like mediocre sales to like middle of March, it just took off in 2023. And that's kind of been the case up until now. I mean, in the winter, it's hard. Nobody wants to buy cold plunge in the winter, so we slow down. But summer, spring through basically November is it's been great.
So we're on the ramp up period right now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ramping up for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, people definitely need cold plunges here in Arizona, man.
Yeah.
It gets toasty.
Yeah.
So through all of that and to where you are today, what do you think has been the hardest moment?
Well, I think the hardest moment was making that final decision to just leave K2 completely. Because I'd been there for 20 years. And I was at a point where, like, I know I could have stayed there and made a living and been comfortable and not have to worry financially. So that was the hardest point.
So do you have any advice for people kind of in a period or a season of life similar to what you were in, where you have those two, do I do this or do I stay in the comfortable season of life?
I don't know if I have great advice. Like, some of that depends on you too and your risk tolerance and what you're willing to endure. You know what I mean? Because I can't say this has been easy. Like it's, I thought I was being a partner in K2, like transitioning to this. I'm like, oh, well, this is 100% mine. I can do whatever I want when I want. I thought everything was going to be so much easier, and that has been completely the opposite. Like everything has been 10 times harder and more stressful. So I would say, like I think anybody can really do it, but it's not going to be easy. And you're going to experience an immense amount of stress and pressure and weight. So understanding like, if you don't do it, you're always going to have that question of, what would have happened if. So if you're willing to live with that, cool.
Yeah.
Then, but if you can't, do it and see what happens. Obviously, a lot of businesses do fail. Yeah. But if you don't take the chance, you're never going to have the opportunity to see. Yeah. So I don't know if that wasn't really good advice. But...
No, that is good. That's very good. So, what do you think this journey through the transition from K2 to Desert Plunge and where you are now has taught you about yourself? What have you seen in yourself over these past 6 years?
Well, I know it's really solidified that like I need to be in the health and wellness industry. Like that's what I'm doing, whether Desert Plunge continues for the next 10, 15 years or whatever, but I know I'm in the health and wellness space. That's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love. So it definitely has revealed that to me. The people I've met through this space, the conversations I get to have with people has been awesome. The other thing it's taught me, and I already knew this, but it's just magnified it, is like I have the control issues I have, I really need to work on. Especially like now we're talking about going through a slow season, and I get so agitated and I get a lot of anxiety and fear. And it's like, I cannot control the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to just have my hands in everything and control it. And I let that take over my emotions when I feel like I have lack of control. So that's really brought that to the surface. Like I said, I already knew I had that problem, but it's definitely something that I know that I need to work on a bit more.
Trusting God with your plans.
Yeah.
The God that brought your clients will help you bring your future business as well.
Yeah.
What do you think's been like I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll come back to this, but you said you've met some really cool people in this industry just through all the events you've done in the marketing.
Yeah. Well, one, just our customers.
Yeah.
A lot of them, especially early on, I got to talk to a lot of them, like in person or on the phone. I can't do that as much today, but just hearing some of their stories too, on like how therapy changed their life, what they've gone through. And then just, being able to connect with other people in the industry. I've gotten an opportunity to work with some cool influencers that have a product.
Yeah.
And they're just connected to so many different people and so many different things in the industry. And it's cool that now health and wellness is part of my job, right? So, like we went to this thing called Running Man last year. It was out in Georgia. And it was just like being able to do things like that. It was the point of it was, I think it was a 50K.
Okay.
So it was a 1 mile loop. So it's 30 miles. And you're sitting there running all day long. But it's such a cool community vibe. Like you're literally running around this track all day, meeting people and networking with people, but working out while you're doing it. So stuff like that.
You had cold plunges there too?
I didn't have cold plunges. We'll see what happens this year. We're going back. We might sponsor it.
Cool.
I think it'd be fun.
Yes, that would be really awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you're meeting some really cool influencers and going to really cool events and networking with people.
Yeah.
So that's always the good part about business. I remember when I actually bought my first cold plunge. It was a meat freezer, and then I ended up upgrading to your Desert Plunge Grizzly cooler, and dude, it's been so helpful. I mean, I'm in the power washing, window cleaning world, and so my hands are always hurting from holding the trigger, squeegees, and kind of like arthritis, where it was like keeping me up at night or waking me up in the morning. And the cold plunge therapy definitely changed that for me. Like I wasn't feeling these pains anymore. It's definitely been super helpful.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still trying to get my wife in the cold plunge. I got to get her those little booties that you guys just released.
Oh yeah. I'll get you a pair of those.
What do you think's been the hardest part of? I know that you said this is kind of a slow season, you're ramping up, but recently, because you said that cold plunge has peaked in 2023.
Yeah.
What do you think's been the hardest part recently?
The hardest part is, I think, recently trying to figure out where I want to take Desert Plunge next. Do I want to just strictly stay with cold plunges and just do one thing and do it really good? But I also see the opportunity to become a health and wellness brand besides just cold plunges. I'd love to do retreats. I'd love to sell saunas, red light, vibration plates, compression therapy. But I don't know what the right answer is. So that's something I've been praying about, trying to figure out what my next move should be. So I'm really wrestling with that. So
I'm excited to see where Desert Plunge goes. Saunas would be really cool. I'll have to get one of those from you. I have a perfect space in the garage for one. So as soon as you do that, let me know. I'll be your first customer. So I kind of want to transition out of work now and kind of talk a little bit more about who you are and what truly makes you happy.
I think what truly makes me happy, we didn't even talk about, I'm married. I've got 2 kids. My daughter's 15 and my son's 13. I think what makes me the happiest now is being able to sit down together for a meal and just everybody's happy. There's no arguing, just being together and talking as a family. It's so simple, but as a father, just being able to see that father and husband, it's gives me the most satisfaction in life right now. So I love that. I love traveling with my family. We try to do that as much as possible. And then anytime I can work out, I love doing that.
So you say traveling, if you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would that be?
Yeah, there's so many places, but honestly, the best trip we ever took was to Yellowstone and Jackson Hole.
Sure.
It's just so beautiful. And it was the best family trip we ever took. So I think I just have the memories of that. I just love to go back there.
What was it like there? Is it super? I haven't been there before.
Oh man, yeah. If you have kids, definitely go to Yellowstone. It's like being in Arizona. It's a whole big world. It's just Yellowstone is amazing. Just the scenery, the wildlife, just driving through the park.
Did the kids like it?
Oh yeah, the kids loved it. It was so much fun. Super engaged. So.
I guess we could go back a little bit. I want to talk about you're married
Yeah.
and you have two kids now. What was it like for you from great job at K2 transitioning into your own endeavor with Desert Plunge while being married?
Yeah, that was that was. You know, my wife was pretty nervous about it,
Yeah.
but she supported me the whole way. She was like the one that was encouraging me to do it. Like, hey, let's go all in on this. Like, you can do it. And then I did it. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you should have done that.
Yeah.
You know. So like once I finally did it, she got pretty nervous. Um, but then like honestly, we didn't even think about it that much. Like once it was done, the decision was made. Like we're gonna move forward. Like there's nothing. We're just focused on the goal. So early on, she was pretty involved with the company too. Like she was really helping get our social media and marketing up and going. She kind of helped establish the partner with Grizzly. So yeah, we didn't dwell on it too much. We didn't focus on it a lot. It was like an initial shock of, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then we moved on.
What's it mean to have a partner that helps support you in this journey?
Yeah, it's good. There's,
I could see how it would be scary from 20 years at one company to
yeah. Yeah, my wife, if you've got to have somebody that stands behind you and supports you through the good and bad. And she's always done that for me in all different aspects of my life. So it's just, I'm really, really grateful for her.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a great team behind you.
Yeah.
So talking about teams, your wife, your kids, what does your team look like at Desert Plunge?
So we've got, in the summer, we're a lot busier. We probably have 10 guys in the warehouse working. Our core group, we've got our admin office specialist, Tammy. Then I've got Zeke, my warehouse manager. And then we've got a few other guys that have been around for a while. So it's not a huge team, but it's a good, tight core group of people. You've turned me on to some good guys.
Yeah.
A lot of college guys that just come pick up shifts.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer, it's nice because, like I said, it's such a seasonal business. We ramp up in the summer, then we got to slow down in the winter. So, it's been nice to have college guys just come pick up shifts so they don't need a full-time job.
Yeah.
So,
seems like a good little family operation there, and you have a great production line too. So it seems like guys are able to plug in, get work done. So
yeah,
that's really cool. What would you say? What type of life are you trying to create for yourself right now?
Well, I think we're pretty close to have it. Like I love where we're at right now, what we're doing. I would like to be less busy.
Okay.
At some point. I do love working, and I love that. I'm just a driver, so I like that. But I would like life to slow down a bit. But we're super blessed. We just moved to this home a year ago, and the life I'm trying to create myself is just raise kids that love the Lord, have a good relationship with my wife, and if I can have those two things, then that's all I really need, and everything else is a blessing on top of that. But I've got my gym. I've got guys that come over and work out with me all the time, which I love. It's just builds community. And my wife's got her little farm out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love it.
This is great. I hope to have a house and the life you have someday. You've really worked really hard. So I've seen it over the past 6 years. So I'm very impressed. So Desert Plunge has gone a long way.
Yeah.
Should be proud of what you've built.
Thank you.
And your family's great too. I've met them. They're awesome. What do you think something about you that people don't see on the surface?
Man, I don't know. I've been like a pretty open book the last year, especially on social media. I guess everybody looks at me, or if you don't know me really well, they're like, man, you're the most chill, calm dude I've ever seen. In reality, I'm like a basket case. I really am. Like, I still have anxiety today. I still worry all the time. I still kind of try and control every situation. So, like, I think behind, like, people see me on social media, and they're like, "Oh, dude, you're so chill, you're so relaxed," but inside, like, I struggle with a lot of the same things everybody does. Like, when I say cold therapy changed my life, it did, but it's still like an ongoing battle that I have to deal with and manage. So yeah, I think when people say that, I'm like, you have no idea what's going on inside my head.
Right.
So just, yeah, being perfectly honest there, like, I would say that people really probably don't see that.
Yeah.
You know?
On the surface. Well, thanks for being vulnerable with that.
Yeah.
Closing up here, what do you hope people remember most about you?
I think, I think first and foremost that I'm a follower of Jesus, and I hope I portray that in everything I do, in my personal life and in business. And then just somebody that loves people, likes to build community, and just does the right thing, you know.
Live by integrity.
Yeah.
Kind of touching on that, and then we'll close up. How would you say you incorporate Christ into your work and your family life? Because I hear you talk about that.
Yeah. Well, the family life, we're trying to get better at this. Obviously we go to church and the kids go to Christian school and all that, but I think we need more. What we're trying to incorporate right now is just like, the kids are teenagers and this is hard. But we're trying to incorporate literally like a 2-minute devotion every evening. And then we're spending like 5 minutes together as a family. And then just being vulnerable and talking about, not being afraid to talk about, why we love Jesus and, what he's done for us in our lives. I think the more you do that with your kids, the more comfortable they're going to be doing that later in life. In business, we definitely don't want to shut it down anybody's throat.
Mm-hmm.
We do mention it. I think, the biggest thing for me is just we portray that by our actions, and try to always do what's good, operating with integrity, like you said, and just, love people through cold plunging.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, seriously, thank you for being vulnerable, present, and just being here to talk about who you are, past, present, and future. And
Yeah.
I seriously appreciate your time coming on today. So thank you. This has been Through the Glass. Till next time. Go ahead.